Atlas and Maguka should probably go, and we'll
Yeah,
scope it
sounds
out.
good.
Whose car do you want to take?
I'll see how yours looks like if you.
It's a Jackrabbit.
Oh, and I can't. I don't like that room. Come on over.
No, okay, you're right. Yeah, let's take your car.
Right. So you guys are going to drive over to the location of Batsu State Systems in Renton. You have
Yep.
the address. It's in a not corporate, commercial park, commercial and light industrial park, office buildings and a variety of other things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in this part of Renton right here, where I'm pinging. And it's just sort of, yeah, you drive over there and start scoping it out. The Batsu State Systems are located in the 4th floor of a 6-story low-rise tower block, amongst many others. This would be a very polished, clean and shiny sort of commercial park, except it's about 30 or 40 years old, so, you know, the flower beds are a bit overgrown, the polish is worn off. It's starting to pick up some scum and grime, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Since it's only about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, there's still lots of people around. You know, humans, elves and dwarves in business suits, humans, dwarves, some orcs in, you know, coveralls. This is not, you know, like heavy factories, but where maybe electricians and, you know, skilled trade workers might have offices, as well as as well as white collar office workers.
Mm-hmm.
The general area is, you know, decently secure. You recognize it as a bit of an A zone. You see a couple of knight errant on patrol just rolling around. But since none of you have had to, you know, travel through any checkpoints or have yet to actually try, you know, walking around on the street, it's pretty easy to handle. It's not like the mass pack of downtown where security's high and you can, you know, pick up a tail easily. This is just sort of Renton. It's a little easier going. So what are you guys going to do now that you have sort of this image?
All right.
So I will just first, I guess, just do a general perception check. You said it was like the 4th floor, right?
Yeah.
Is it like, what does it look like? Like, is there like windows and stuff on it, or?
Yeah. It's a low-rise tower block. It's got windows. You don't know if they open. It's set up about 4 feet from road level, and you have to walk up a couple of steps to get there. The steps have bollards on them. The building is set back at least 20 meters from the roadside. There's that. There's a bunch of greenery around, but it's not very well maintained. What specific things are you looking for, really?
You said there's a bunch of what around?
Greenery, plants, grass, that sort of thing.
Oh, greenery, got it, okay.
Security.
Yeah, so when you start looking for security, you notice a couple of things. The first is that while the fronts of each of these buildings are, you know, relatively open and publicly accessible, the driveways that go down the sides of the buildings have security checkpoints, tire spikes, and barrier arms. And the backs of these buildings have chain link fences with rolls of barbed wire on the top. Looking closely, you can see a security camera, or at least one security camera covering the entrance to each building, as well as others covering what might be a loading dock or a rear entrance or various things. This is just sort of standard for the area.
Yep.
As well as public security cameras mounted high up on the light poles over the street. You're probably on camera already.
Yeah, it's fine. Since it's a block, I suggest we
Yeah.
just take a casual, like very
Sure. You
slow
start driving
drive.
around and you can start to see the slightly less obvious bits of security. You notice that there are Lone Star branded security guards standing around. There's just sort of like one sort of near the doors of each building, near the main entrance. They don't look to be anything other than overpaid renter cops. Looking up to the roof line, you don't see anything particularly interesting. You see a couple of drones flying around. Not just, the standard quadcopter delivery drones and large lighter than air advertising drones, but you see a couple of security drones flying around. You recognize the model as the MCT version, as well as a couple of other ones built by, Renraku and a few other smaller companies. They're all roughly the same sort of thing.
Okay.
Security's tight, man.
Where did you say the barbed wire was?
Okay, so as you drive down the street, there's low-rise office block, bit of a gap, low-rise office block, bit of a gap. In the gaps are driveways leading from the street around to the back of the building.
Mm-hmm.
The driveway has a security booth, a barrier arm, and tire spikes. And to separate each tower block property and the loading yard from its neighbours, there is a chain link fence about 10 feet high. No, about 20 feet high, with barbed wire on the top of it. And if it's 10 feet high, then it's like as tall as a troll, or slightly less so. So, it's 20 feet high.
Right.
Whew. All right. How tall
You guys
are these
don't,
buildings?
like, being professional criminals, you realize that this isn't exactly over-the-top security. This is,
All right.
relatively normal, possibly even slightly low-grade security, given you only see sort of one meta-human guard per building at the moment. There's just sort of, cameras and passive stuff.
Yep.
So that means there's probably more stuff's hidden. Yeah.
So how tall are these buildings in terms of floor levels?
They're 6 stories.
6
Okay.
stories is on the 4th one. Okay, interesting. Going in through the roof might be possible.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We could probably get in at night and try sneaking up into the roof.
Camera's probably not an issue. Just wear a helmet. Whatever.
Yeah.
What else?
Does it look like I guess if we have a connection with our matrix specialist, do you think we could ask when this place usually closes down for the night?
I mean, you have a connection to Van Winkle, but yeah, I'd have to do some shit to find that out.
Yeah, it's pretty evident that places like this, just because this is how the sixth word works, don't actually close down for the night. They just bring on the night shift.
Right. Does it look
there
like
are blue collar, there are white collar workers who worked 9 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
in our drive around? Does it look like any of the guards are moving around, or are they just like stationed at the buildings? Like
They seem
is
to
it
be just sort of
drones flying
stationed
around?
at the buildings.
But the drones are flying around.
The drones are sort of, yeah, they're just, in the general area. They don't seem to be attached to any particular building.
Good stuff.
Yeah. You see, about 50% of the traffic is vans, utility vehicles, and so on. About a third is standard cars, sedans, coupes, hatchbacks, and about a sixth is light trucks, the sort of 5-10 ton sort of trucks.
Yep.
If there's larger trucks, they're non-articulated, which means that they are a single tractor trailer unit without a bend in the middle.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah,
Anything
you guys
else?
are starting to get a lot of AR spam about the various corporations around here and the services they provide, and you're having to close it all off. In fact, you feel like the noise around here is even worse because a combination of the spam and actually they're being really quite overwhelmingly spammy.
Jeez.
All right. Well,
Enjoy, Van Winkle.
yeah.
I say through the eye. As I look over to our to Maguka, while Atlas looks over to Maguka and asks whether there's anything else she would like to figure out, or whether we should head back.
Maybe we should just, if we can avoid attracting attention, let's just stay and see if the guard shift changes at any certain times, if there's any
Oh,
sort
that
of
is smart.
control.
Yep. That's smart as hell, yeah.
Cool, so how long are you going to hang out for that?
We'll ask Van Winkle to, like, and Orchid how long their time is, like, their scoping out time is going to take.
Before we do this, Venti, I want to ask, like, is there any like food court, like anything to where you can get?
No, see, unlike when you're operating downtown or in a commercial
Uh-huh.
district, this is a yeah, there's no cafes, there's no bars to hang out near. I mean, these workers have to bring their lunch each day or like have cafeterias in the buildings, but
Of course they do.
there's not even really any cars parked up on the side of the road because each building has its own car park. So if you want to like
Right.
stay stationary and do a stakeout, you're going to have to be quite careful to not stick out.
So where do people usually, like, stay parked? Like, I mean, do they just hang out in the car park from what we can see around us?
What do you mean? Where do
Like, if there's anyone loitering, like, or idling their
There's not
car.
really anybody loitering or idling.
Ah, of course.
Aw.
I
That's
mean,
a
the
nice,
people on the sidewalk are, walking from place to place, but there's not many of them. There's a lot of traffic, though. Lots of people moving around in, vans and light trucks and utes and cars. But the actual amount of people outside of the buildings is pretty low. It's a fairly standard commercial grouping of buildings.
Okay.
Blah.
Is your Ford America just, like, perfectly normal?
Oh yeah, your car doesn't stand out as long as it keeps moving.
Yep.
Right. So I guess we should just patrol for a while and just see if the guard shift changes.
My issue with this is we are both rather,
Yeah,
not the
rather
most
distinctive. Mm,
not the most normal wage slave kind of people.
that is true.
And
Either of you gentlemen, or excuse me, you gentlemen and lady, have any micro drones or mini drones by any chance?
nope.
Well, all right. This is probably where I have to invest in that. Yeah. So, okay. I would advise you guys to just not draw attention to yourselves and go. Maybe the only thing that you could do is just look for a public lobby and show up and say that, come up with a plausible excuse for you to just walk inside the lobby. Ask to use the bathroom.
Oh, well, I guess I'll be doing the walking because Atlas is more distinctive.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, please keep the quad replacement in the car.
By the way, are there any, like, what is a nearby area? Like, are there any, like, large buildings nearby, I guess, that are not part of this area? Like, what is the
this
surroundings
place,
like?
this grouping of buildings goes for like 2 kilometers in either direction.
Oh God. Okay.
It's as if a bored city planner just drew out a square. This area is medium commercial. Assigned zoning.
So is this near the edge, or where is it? our
No,
building?
you're about a third of the way from one side to the other, so you're mostly into the middle. You're about a
Great.
mile away before you start getting any changes in buildings and architecture.